If you're on private well water, it's usually inspected the first time, but after that, it's completely up to the homeowner, right? There's no agency that's regularly checking the quality of that water. And even when you buy a new home, because a lot of people say, oh, well, I bought this home that's on well water, it's been tested, so it's safe. I will say from my personal experience, probably at least 90% of the time, the only thing I'm testing for is bacteria, which is important. I'm not gonna act like that's not important. It's very important, but that's not the only thing to be potentially concerned about. Generally, what you're getting from the groundwater is maybe more of aesthetic staining from like iron and manganese, but there are things that in rare cases, elevated levels can cause genuine health concerns that just come from the ground. So elevated level of fluoride comes naturally from the ground. Elevated level of arsenic, not usually out here, thankfully, but in rare cases that can happen naturally from the groundwater as well. I'm sure everyone heard through the news when Flint, Michigan was having its concerns with lead. So the water was not treated to deal with its corrosivity, so it corroded pipes, and that ended up in the drinking water. The other one is water softeners. So you remove mineral ions, take the hardness out, but you have to exchange it with something, and that's a chemistry equation beyond my head. But you swap those mineral ions for sodium ions to get the minerals out, but then you're adding sodium into your drinking water, which generally is not at a level that's a really concern, but if you have hypertensive adults and it's really hard water, because it's one-for-one exchange, right? If it's really hard water, you have to add a lot of sodium back in to exchange it. There can be a noticeable amount of sodium added back to your drinking water. Some of the most dangerous contaminants are ones that do not have aesthetic qualities, or at levels that can be dangerous don't yet present aesthetic qualities. And what I mean is you can't taste it, smell it, you can't really see it in the water. You can have dangerous levels of arsenic, you can't see or smell or taste it. Dangerous levels of E. coli, can't see, smell or taste it, right? You're only gonna know if one of two things, you either test it or you get sick enough that the hospital figures it out. Once you register, there is a kickoff meeting where you get your sample kit, you get instructions of how to take the samples to test for your well water. There's actually a very short timeline specifically because some of those things really need to be tested within 24 hours. So it becomes you test in the morning, you drop it off to me later in the morning, I meet somebody from Blacksburg halfway in Charlottesville, and then they take it there, and those components that need to be tested really quickly are tested right away. It's completely confidential. Even I only get the aggregate results unless the homeowner's willing to share it with me. And I can tell you from talking to the health department, even if I gave it to them, they're not gonna come to your house and shut off your water. So so none of those are a thing if people are concerned about that. They're completely confidential. We don't report. The only information that's ever shared with other organizations is the aggregate data saying these 70 results resulted in these things popping up.